Hey, how you guys doing out there? James Humphrey with Associates Productions Movie Reviews. I got my co-host with me, Ali. And today we are finishing up our X-Men movies for our season premiere with the final Wolverine movies. We're doing, what is it? X-Men Origins, Wolverine. We have The Wolverine. Can't keep these names right. And then we ended with Logan. Starting with that first one, let's get into it.
All right, I'm gonna preface this because this is how our review is gonna go too. This is one of the few series that we have seen where it gets from worst to best in its timeline. And most movies don't do that. Most of it starts with a good one, like the first one's the best one, then it kind of tanks. This is reverse, and this is why. X-Men Origin Wolverine is god awful.
It's really bad.
It is one of the worst movies. I love this movie. It's a guilty pleasure of mine, but it is.
It is entertaining. It's entertaining.
It's 100% entertaining. But let me tell y'all this: when I say the beginning of this movie, and not like if you're a huge Wolverine fan, a comic book fan, you might disagree with me. But as far as somebody just watching the movie, the beginning of this movie is probably one of the best things of this movie. When Wolverine and Sabretooth are going through the wars, from like Civil War to World War I and II to Vietnam War, before they get picked up by Stryker's team. It's one of the best collages, one of the best, like the music, the introduction, the freeze frame, all that stuff is really good. But the storyline itself in this movie, with the CGI that falls forth, it is. Oh.
A lot of plot holes, and even the plot twists don't make fucking sense in this movie. You got Wolverine, who I guess got his not so brother Victor, whatever. So and they just the way they just jump into the Weapon X program is like, even at the beginning of the movie, you got Victor that was trying to force himself on a lady, that's when Wolverine kind of like, hey bro, you need to chill the fuck out, dog. And then they show that they're mutants, and then they get captured, which doesn't make sense because they both could have just killed all those fucking jihadis. You know what I mean? Yes. They could have killed all of them, but they get thrown in jail, and that's when Stryker comes. It's like, hey man, I'm building some special team with you special motherfuckers. We go do it right. We go do this. We go do that. We go change the world. Why don't you join up with your boy? That kind of shit. And then they're off killing people in Africa.
Yes, because Stryker is looking for adamantium, and they go to. And by the way, they go to like not a warlord, but like a I can't think of the name of it right now. Like a kingpin who has like a whole bunch of like troops and everything. They go into this place. They go destroy their troops. And the dude's like, I have all the money you want. He's like, I'm not looking for money. Where did you find this? Now, this strike force has the Blob, who is not big yet. Will.i.am, which I don't know his name.
It doesn't matter. He's like he has teleport or
he can teleport but not like
Nightcrawler.
Yeah, not like Nightcrawler. He just zip in and back like if I'm here, I can move over there and back right here. Like I can't go somewhere.
They rather just give him like super speed or whatever. But then that'd be a whole nother thing.
Yeah, whole nother thing. You have a guy who can work technology, and then you have another guy. You have Ryan Reynolds
playing Deadpool.
Who's playing Deadpool, who is about as cheeky as he is in his other movies.
Yeah. Every movie.
Yeah, every movie. And then you have Agent Zero, who doesn't like Logan. But anyway, they go tear this place up, find out where the Rock is at, and then they go to this camp, or they go to a village where they're about to kill everybody. Wolverine's like, this is not what we signed up for, Victor. Well, one, y'all didn't sign up for this at all. Y'all just got taken out of a horrible situation.
Agreed to do that shit.
Mind you, Wolverine and Sabretooth are brothers in this movie. And James broke this down off screen.
Because they zip through this movie so quickly that they don't explain the actual origins of Wolverine.
So we're in the first 10, 15 minutes? We're still the first 15 minutes of this movie. We just talked about 5 different things.
It jumps back and forth. Anyway, so James Howlett, which is Wolverine's real name, is he's the son of this rich guy, like this Protestant or something. Mind you, this is like the 1600s or 1500s, something around there. He's the son of this very, very rich guy who has a wife who's also rich, whatever. But the wife ends up having an affair with like some peasant or whatever, and he is actually Wolverine's father, who gives him his mutant genes or whatever. Because a young Logan is actually a lot like Captain America, where he's always sick all the time before his mutant powers actually kick in.
Oh, that's right.
He's always sick. He's always like do this, whatever, gets hurt really, really easy until his rage actually activates when he's protecting the guy that's about to kill his father, which is actually his real father. So he actually, and in turn, Wolverine's rage, whatever, actually kills his real father that he didn't know of.
Which in the movie, he says that too.
Yeah, well, like in the movie, they play it off very, very softly, whatever. But that actually happened in the comic book.
And he's like, "I'm your father."
He's like,
"Son,"
whatever,
and he goes, "What?" And then Sabretooth, to his brother, is like, "No, so, run with me. We're going to run together."
Yeah, so then they have Victor Creed in there, which in turn, in the comic book, Victor Creed is actually like a whole century older than Wolverine.
Which is crazy. I did not know that.
Absolutely crazy, But then in the comic book, or in the movie, they make them brothers, which they're not really brothers. And then which again doesn't make sense, because if this is supposed to be an origin movie, but it's like a sequel to the original 3 X-Men movies, how did Wolverine and Sabretooth not know each other? I can understand Wolverine not knowing Sabretooth, but how does Sabretooth not know who the fuck Wolverine is? That doesn't make sense.
Like the person who made this movie did not watch the other 3 and was like, I like Sabretooth.
We're just gonna write this in.
Let's skip everything else. We're just gonna write this in. I like Sabretooth. Now let's make them brothers. So back to present day, Wolverine's like, I'm done with the Special Strike Force team. I'm gonna go live my life in the mountains.
Which doesn't make sense, because he just walks away in the middle of a mission, like in the middle of fucking nowhere, like he's in the middle of Africa. I'm like, how are you gonna get home?
And end up in Canada.
Like, did you not fly there? Like, come on, dude.
I don't know.
I love it when they do that in movies. Like, hey, I'm done. I'm out of here. But how am I gonna get home? Can y'all fly me home and then I can leave from there? But yeah, he quits, and then they fast forward the movie like another 10 years or 5 years, and he's shacked up in Canada with some chick
who is Lady Silver. I'm calling Lady Silver Fox. Who's Silver Fox? By the way, I watched this movie like 10 times. I had no idea who that was until and the only reason I called it, somebody called a kid, because she works at a school. A kid called her some name, or Silver Fox, Miss Fox, something like that, and I was like, Silver Fox. How? You
actually have to read the credits at the end of the movie to figure out who's who, because they never call Victor Sabretooth. They never call Silver Fox. Silver Fox. They call her her real fucking name or something like that.
I also feel like, Wolverine got the nickname Wolverine. It was a story she told him.
Yeah, told him from.
And he Cuckoo Kachu got screwed. Cuckoo Kachu got screwed. It's the line that Hugh Jackman legit says about the Wolverine, because that's how the name, Wolverine, how the moon became Wolverine, and how the moon, because he lost his life, or lost his lover, or something like that. So he has the moon to be close to his lover. So Wolverine picked the nickname Wolverine. By the way, he gets that nickname when Stryker asks him to do this treatment to beat Sabretooth. So Sabretooth is in this movie going around hunting the old team, and he finds Silver Fox, kills her, which causes Wolverine to go fight him with his bone claws. He doesn't win. Mind you, before this happens, Stryker does show up and asks Wolverine to join his team one more time. And Wolverine's like, fuck you, do your own, I don't want to be a part of this. I'm out. So Sabretooth...
Again, it doesn't make sense, because if they would have just left Wolverine alone, that'd be the end of the movie.
Yes.
That would be the end of the movie.
Yes.
Why does he need Wolverine to do what?
I don't know.
That doesn't make sense.
So, and why Sabretooth is with the twist. Sabretooth is with Stryker here in this movie. So Stryker goes all right, I'm out the picture. Sabretooth shows up, kills Wolverine's girlfriend, and then Wolverine finds out, fights Sabretooth, gets beat up, then goes back to Stryker, finds out where he's at. It's like, all right, I'll do your thing. Sabretooth is going around not only killing the old team, but going around capturing other mutants. With Stryker. So Wolverine gets put underneath water and gets the adamantium added to him.
Here's the thing that doesn't make sense. So Stryker has this rock of adamantium, right?
Yes.
But in the second X-Men, he explains that you have to keep adamantium hot, because if it's cool, then it's hard forever, whatever, right? So it's like, how can you heat something that's hard forever into liquid to make it hard again forever? That doesn't make sense. Because if you have this rock that you can heat up, then obviously you can heat up Wolverine's adamantium You know what I mean? But then we'll talk about his adamantium claws getting cut later on in other movies.
Oh yes, that's right. That does happen. Yeah. So they put him underneath and they ask like, "What do you want your dog tag to say?" Wolverine. Okay. So put him underneath the water, gives him the adamantium, and then Stryker's like, "All right, we got this done. Now, let's remove his memory." Which Wolverine can hear this underneath the water. By the way, he's in pain. He hears this, like they settles down. He hears this. He goes, "Oh no!" Breaks out.
It starts killing motherfuckers.
Yes. Then runs away from the facility to this old man and lady who don't know who they are. They have no idea what they're about.
Strangers.
Complete strangers. We get to see Wolverine claws for the first time, which are very horribly done CGI. Like it's very cartoonish.
It's really bad because how can like claws like make sparks, but if they keep doing it like that, then you would think they would like chip or break or whatever. You know what I mean?
Gosh.
Like it's really bad.
And then Weapon X finds not Weapon X because he's Weapon X. What's the name of the actual?
Well, he's supposed to be like Maverick or whatever. Because Maverick was an actual mutant on the Weapon X scene, but it's like some other just random dude.
Yeah,
you know,
Agent Zero. He finds Wolverine, shoots the old people, and said Wolverine does it. And then this is the most psychotic. So the action sequences in this movie are just, I'm not sure
really bad. They're like Batman Forever bad. You know what I mean?
Wolverine's on a motorcycle. There's like an SUV Jeep chasing Wolverine with guns on it, shooting at him. There's a helicopter that shows up, and they're trying to sandwich a man on a motorcycle between a giant helicopter that's in the air and a Jeep that's behind him. How do you sandwich somebody when one thing is flying, the motorcycle is... It's not that, like, it's not a car. It's not a car.
The helicopter shoots a missile down on the motorcycle, and Wolverine uses that to project that up to the helicopter and able to cut the propellers of the fucking helicopter with his claws, and he's still able to hang on and roll around without getting his clothes dirty. I can understand not getting a scratch because obviously he's Wolverine, but his clothes are not dirty whatsoever. Rolling around on the ground, dirt, helicopter, all this other bullshit.
Kills Agent Zero.
The helicopter's already down.
Yes.
You know, exploded, whatever. But then he's able to light the fire to explode
with the spark of his claw.
Even more. With rocks.
With rocks. Yeah, because there's no oil there. It's just okay, whatever. And he walks away like some action, like a 1980s action.
Blows it up, you know. Mm-hmm.
So his goal is to find Sabretooth, Victor. So he goes to find the Blob and Will.i.am, and Will.i.am's like, I can't tell you about the things we did, man. After you left, what we did to our own kind.
Oh man, it's real bad, dog.
Yeah,
I should have walked out with you, man, and just left and be cool.
We had our own kind, Logan. Our own kind. Because he did go by Logan, too. He went by Logan and Jimmy in this movie.
Yes.
Why did he change his name to Logan?
I can't remember. I think he only changed it to Logan to actually hide
from them.
James or Jimmy Howlett or something, but hide his like real name or something like that. Something like that.
Oh, because the movie doesn't explain why some people call him Logan, and why Victor only called him Jimmy. The movie never explained that. It never explained.
They lost me at the first 5 minutes of the film, if I'm being honest with you. Anyway, so he fights the Blob, tries to interrogate the Blob to find information on another mutant that, again, ran from that said facility or whatever.
Yes.
Which, again, doesn't make sense.
And while that's happening, Stryker and Sabretooth are teaming up to take Cyclops, who is like a young high schooler, out of school.
They took this motherfucker in the middle of school. That's what I can't understand. They took this motherfucker in the middle of school.
And Cyclops also, he was in detention. He got told to stay behind in detention because his eyes was messing.
Because he didn't want to take his glasses off. Which he went through the first semester, half the school year with glasses on, and they just now telling this dude to take the glasses off.
Exactly.
It's really bad. And then he shoots up the school, you know.
And detention's only like 30 minutes outside of school. Like, it's not that big. Like, so I mean, people were still in this building. Nobody came over like, yo, there's a giant cat man climbing on walls, grabbing a kid. This kid has lasers, and some other dude shoots the kid with a projection to knock him out. Should we call the government? Should we call the police?
Call somebody?
Nobody's there to notice this. They drag Cyclops to an unbeknownst location. By the way, Cyclops and Wolverine never really interact with each other. And also, wouldn't Cyclops recognize that's to do with the claws who saved me years ago with Emma Frost and a Toad and a bunch of other people?
Oh, he couldn't see anything, remember? At the end of the movie. I forgot about that. They covered his eyes with glasses.
Oh, that's right.
So he has the glasses, but he has things covered up his eyes over the glasses.
So then Emma Frost would
things covered up the eyes over the glasses.
You're right.
Covering up the eyes over the glasses.
You're right. You're right.
And then a fully walkable Charles Xavier is the one that got them out of the building with his little mind trick.
You're right.
Fully walkable.
And we're jumping ahead because like there's just so much. This movie has so much going on.
So let's go back to Gambit. Let's go back to
Gambit.
The Gambit situation.
So Gambit, Wolverine meets Gambit, and Wolverine's like, "Hey, Wolverine goes to meet Gambit, and they're like, hey, we're looking for Victor."
Yeah.
And Gambit's like, "Oh no, I'm not going back to that place."
I'm not going
so
back
he
there.
attacks Wolverine. Okay, and then as Wolverine's dealing with Gambit, he looks over and sees Will.i.am trying to go one-on-one with Sabretooth. Sabretooth goes, "You know what your problem is, man? You're always predictable," and like kills Will.i.am. So Will.i.am's dead. Wolverine, who doesn't really care about Will.i.am dying, his good friend of his, just got killed in front of him. He doesn't care at all. He goes and knocks out Gambit with like an elbow punch. Gambit's knocked out. Okay, cool. And then goes and fights Sabretooth. They fight each other again. Wolverine got the upper advantage this time. And you know who breaks the fight for no reason? Gambit. So here's the problem. Gambit doesn't want to see Victor. He doesn't want to go back to that place. Wolverine's a guy who wants to see Victor. So Gambit has no beef in this situation. He could just left the situation. He said, "You know what? That's y'all issue. I'm done."
Could have left as easy as Wolverine left the Weapon X program.
Right. And mind you, you mentioned this off screen. Wolverine left the situation he was at. He was in the location he was supposed to be at. Left and pretty much doing the whole thing to circle back around.
The whole thing doesn't make sense because if Wolverine got the adamantium at the Weapon X program on the island, or
Alkali
Island, whatever, he left that, and then Stryker and Sabretooth never left that same place. So how did Wolverine not know where these motherfuckers were hiding at?
Now, the twist, you're right. We'll just go back to Stryker and figure out where Wolverine. That's the point. He wanted to find Stryker to take him to Sabretooth. So he could just go back to find Stryker and say, "Where is Victor?" The twist was supposed to be Victor and Sabretooth, or Victor and Stryker working together. Then Wolverine finally gets there. Finally, like, he goes, "Victor!" He finds him. Sabretooth. Stryker shows up. "Yeah, by the way, your girlfriend's still alive, and she's been playing you for the past 5 or 10 years. Who then she mentioned, "No, Wolverine, everything that happened was real." The writings for this movie is not that good.
Yeah.
And the CGI for this movie. And
because it's like Stryker, who is, I guess, pulling Silver Fox's strings to trick Wolverine into
because Silver Fox's daughter, or Silver Fox's sister is Emma Frost. I forgot about that. That's why she was doing that.
We probably should have rewatched this stupid ass movie before.
That was her motivation. Was her?
That's right.
Her sister was being held by Stryker. So in order to protect her sister, she did a 10-year relationship with Wolverine.
Which makes no sense, because couldn't she just manipulate Stryker into letting her go or something? Yeah. But I guess Stryker is able to control the mutants or some shit. I don't know, man.
And Stryker, Stryker's main goal is to make the perfect mutant. That's his goal.
So he takes all the different powers from all the different mutants that he's captured, put them all in one guy. That doesn't make sense.
And this guy is Deadpool. That's who this is. He goes, "Weapon 11, Deadpool," and everybody's like, "What the heck is this movie?" Like, this movie has caused so much backlash that Ryan Reynolds actually made Deadpool out of this movie, and still to this day poke fun at this movie at every scene. If you watch Deadpool 2, one of the after credit scenes is Logan sitting in the doorway. The door opens up, and you see Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool sitting there like, and then he gets shot by Deadpool, who's like, "No, nothing to see here. You keep going about your business. I'm sorry.
Fixing the timelines.
Timelines. Don't worry about me." And then Hugh Jackman was just like,
So, the climax of the movie, you got Wolverine who fights the mutated Deadpool with Victor.
Which I actually love this, to be honest. I love this. Like the circle scene where they're top of this. So they climb up
You still gotta consider Wolverine took like 15 minutes to climb this fucking thing.
This silo. They fight on top of us.
And then he just poops up there at the top of the damn thing.
And he's like kicking Wolverine, kicking Sabretooth, like teleporting back and forth.
Back and forth.
And they kill him by cutting his head off somehow.
it's actually a pretty cool effect. It's actually a pretty cool effect where the spiral thing or whatever,
because he
takes the thing down, and
he has his lighting. He's still doing the Cyclops eye beams, and he like cuts the silo like you're saying down. And then Gambit comes out of nowhere and goes, "You missed me? Where'd you go? I thought you said you was out of this.
Yeah,
why'd you come back?
Not ever going back to that one place that you escaped from, and all this other bullshit."
And then we finally get to the scene where Wolverine loses his memory because
he gets
Stryker
shot in the head with adamantium bullets.
It was not enough to kill him, but enough to make him lose his memories.
Enough to make him lose his memory.
How do you know this?
And not all of his memory, just specific memories. Not all of his memories, just specific memories.
His girlfriend dies, and then Wolverine goes off, become Wolverine, and the rest of the movie ends that way because we know what X-Men leads up to. This storyline is all over the place. It is the CGI is not good. The writing is not good. Wolverine is yelling. Hugh Jackman is yelling all the time. Lee Shriver and Wolverine are putting their best. I think they're doing a good job as far as acting. They're giving their best effort. To me, Wolverine is doing his butt to make this scene work.
I want to ask some of them, why did you make that movie? What were you thinking? Leah, man, what were you thinking? You did some pretty good acting, some pretty good movies, man. What were you thinking when you did X-Men?
you know who wrote this movie or helped write it was one of the guys from Game of Thrones.
Really?
Yeah, one of the Dave something. Or he also wrote another movie, but he, which is funny because he can't finish movies. He didn't finish Game of Thrones right. They got to rush that. This movie is the beginning of this movie is the best part of this movie.
In other words, there was another guy who has to come back up after his writings to fix his shit. That makes sense.
Yep.
He's just a bad writer.
It's like one of Dave Benioff or something like that. One of the Daves from Game of Thrones, the one that worked on this, and it makes complete sense. Where the ending, so you know how the movie has to end. How do you get there? We just make shit up to get there. And then there's an after credit scene where Deadpool is alive.
Yeah.
So Stryker's main thing was to get Wolverine to get Logan to become Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
But he was, instead of just he kidnapped all the other mutants to make the perfect mutant. So why didn't he just kidnap Wolverine, take away his memory, put him under, take his memories, then give him the adamantium, and then that's the end of the movie.
They never really explained why Stryker even went back to Wolverine in the first place. Wolverine left, he was chilling out in Canada, whatever. It's what did he need from Wolverine to do? You know what I mean? Because if he wanted to just give Sabretooth the adamantium, he could have just gave Sabretooth the adamantium. There's no point to him needing Wolverine.
And then doesn't Sabretooth heal in this movie too?
He has a healing factor just like...
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter. See, here's the thing. In the comic book, Wolverine and Sabretooth are on the same, team. They're on the same Weapon X program. Yeah. In the comic book, Sabretooth was supposed to get the adamantium implants. But what happened was Wolverine got it first, and he blew the place up. And so Sabretooth couldn't get the adamantium. In the movie, though, Sabretooth clearly wants the adamantium. It's why can't I get it? He's we got to give it to this other guy first. You know what I mean? That's how it is.
And on top of that, the place never got blown up either. Wolverine didn't take out anybody. He took out one dude or two dudes and then just left. The place was completely intact.
That is completely true.
It was completely intact. He didn't go berserk Wolverine. He was just simple
he did kill he killed the people in that room, and then obviously Stryker and the other guy escaped. But then he just left. How did he not know to go back to that fucking place? This movie sucked, man. This movie fucking sucked. It was really bad. Wasting my money, man. I want my money back on that one.
Yeah, it's not good.
Let's move forward.
All right.
Let's move forward. The Wolverine. It's most definitely a step up.
This is true.
Action-wise, it was a step up because they had Wolverine fighting ninjas and shit.
Yeah. Wolverine's in Japan.
In Japan. Okay, let's start from the beginning. So, in one of Wolverine's past lives on the wars, he saves this Japanese guy from the atomic bomb and the nuclear bomb that they dropped. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the Japanese guy sees that Wolverine is a mutant. He's like, "Oh, damn, that's pretty cool, man. I wish in 50 years I could have your powers," which is the plot of the movie. So you fast forward to where this is after X-Men 3, after The Last Stand. Wolverine hanging out with the bears and shit.
And seclusion because he can't get over Jean Grey and all that stuff. Like, okay, dude.
Which she has like a small cameo in this movie, which is whatever. Anyway, so he ends up fighting these guys that killed this bear over some poison bullshit. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, Wolverine gets out by some chick.
Yep, she comes like, hey, we need to say goodbye to an old friend who's dying.
Blah, blah, blah. We're going to take you. We're going to clean you up a little bit because you a little scruffy. And he pretty more or less meets the same guy that he healed or saved all those years ago in Japan. Okay? And so the thing with this movie is that certain mutants aren't named after their quote-unquote powers. Because I have this Enchantress bitch in the thing.
Oh, Enchantress?
But she's not Enchantress.
I thought it was Viper.
Or, yeah, her name is Viper.
Yeah.
But she has, like, the same powers of Enchantress. But it's not Enchantress. You know what I mean? I don't know if this is, like, a legal thing, like a Fox thing. Or
could have been.
A mutant thing. I don't know. Whatever.
The movie rights.
Let's start getting into the plot holes of the movie.
So.
Because the whole idea is to more or less harvest Wolverine's healing factor.
Yes. But that's one of the plots. Another plot is that, like, the Silver Samurai, his son wants to take over his heir, or like his empire.
Yeah, that's right.
But the daughter,
because he's dying, but the daughter
of the son is like, she's a hot topic kind of thing. Like she's important to the whole thing. So the Yakuza or the enemy trying to kidnap her to try to get a stronghold or one up on the Silver Samurai and his family. Wolverine ended up being protecting her, falls in love with her.
Bangs her.
Huh?
Bangs her.
Bangs? Yeah, that's it.
He bangs her.
He does that. Which is like his first romance since Jean Grey. Which is not a romance, it's just his affect.
It was like affair.
Yeah, his
like,
he ain't an affair. Like he never do anything with he was just in love with somebody else's. He loved somebody else's girl, and that was just it.
That is true. They
didn't do anything at all for like.
Yeah, that's totally what. Yeah.
To be honest, Cyclops got killed before he even decided to make another move on Jean Grey. So technically, did he really take somebody else's girl? She was.
You spit facts on this one.
In the movie, if you watch the movie, Cyclops is dead, so Jean Grey is single.
Facts on that one, like that.
Anyway, so Wolverine, meets this girl, falls in love with her, which is Silver. And I think in the comics, is actually Silver Samurai's actual daughter.
Yeah.
And the son of Silver Samurai fights Wolverine. Wolverine takes him out, and the movie could end this way. Like it could have been like just a family affair kind of thing. Wolverine sets everything straight, been done. Wolverine is not dying, but he loses his.
He is dying. The Enchantress put something on his heart that retracts his healing factor. So it's not like he's dying. He's like he's fucked up or whatever. Yeah. He see himself dying. And I guess he actually dies, which doesn't make sense because he cuts his own heart out and it heals back to where it was supposed to be. But I feel like if you cut the dude's heart out, like it's a done deal.
It's a done deal. But like he gets shot at one point. He's like, oh, I'm actually not healing fast enough. And then another girl helps him out. They fight the evil, I guess, the son. Cool, you think it's done. Then another group of ninjas shows up.
Well, they kidnap the girl. That's right. They kidnap the girl. Yeah. And he's like, oh, I gotta save this new girl that I banged. Typical 80s, 90s action kind of flick kind of thing.
And then the movie goes from like a Western style Japanese, I guess Western not really a term, but like kind of like a small circle, like just human versus mutant Japanese, like this is honor kind of fight to a giant mecha that is a Silver Samurai.
Well, in my impression when I remember the Silver Samurai, he was just like a regular samurai that was silver. He was the head of this little household, whatever,
I forget what his powers are. Like he has powers.
He has powers, but I don't think he had any actual like mutant powers. I think he was like still a human or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember. But then in the movie, you're right. It's some big Iron Man type shit where you got this little scrawny guy in this big ass mech suit,
which also has the stealing ability. So it's still like it grabs Wolverine's claws and then like starts stealing his life.
Well, you got to remember, it's hot enough to cut his claws off.
Yes.
And I think it was only one hand. He didn't cut. No, he did cut both of them. He did cut both.
And Wolverine got his bone claws back at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
This movie ending is not good. Like the movie itself is overall like okay, storyline, everything goes. It's a solid movie. I think people will enjoy it. I actually fell asleep with this movie twice. I tried to watch this twice. I fell asleep on it twice. The third act to me is where the movie falls off hard. Like it's good
when the ninjas capture Wolverine and he fights with the 50 arrows.
Yeah, he's like sat like this and he fights Silver Samurai. I cannot get through that part. I watched this movie twice. I fall asleep, woke back up. One time I woke back up, fell asleep on that same spot again.
You have adamantium claws. You could just like cut that shit off and be good.
The daughter's protector is also around. He fights the Viper lady, I think, and they beat the Viper lady somehow by melting her face off. It's okay movie. Like it's not bad. It's entertaining.
But I wouldn't give it a good replay value though, if I'm being honest with you.
This one thing you want to see is the scene where he fights. I can't think who the son's villain is. Like is a well-known actor too, who's a really.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I can't think what his name is right now. He blended a lot of stuff, but that fight scene and then the bullet train.
The bullet train was a good fight scene.
Yes,
very good fight scene with the bullet.
That's one of two things you need to watch of that movie. The ending, he could take it or leave it. The
climax was very bad. You know, when he fights the big mecha thing. Yeah. And
it's just as bad as it sounds. Like it's CGI, like Iron Man kind of like CGI, but not like more like not Ironmonger look alike.
Yeah.
What's his name? I can't think of his name right now.
Well, it's not even that. You gotta remember, this guy was bedridden.
Yeah.
The guy was bedridden. He was like dying, and now he's able to fucking move around this big mech suit.
How did he beat him? Like he was absorbing Wolverine's energy. Then Wolverine.
I think he took his own hot ass samurai and stabbed him with it, because he took his claws away.
Yeah.
Or maybe he took one of his. I
forgot how he beat. Anyway,
like I said, the replay on this movie is not good.
He dies, and then like Wolverine's like, okay, he's at the airport, and the after credit scene, Charles Xavier and Magneto show back up, and it's like, hey, we got bigger things happening. We need you back again. And
then we go into
Days of Future Past.
Days of the Future Past. That's right.
The Wolverine is not it is very. I consider it average. I think I gave it a C plus. It's not a C plus movie. I think it's an average movie. You're not gonna walk away like hating this movie, but also at the same time like it's not
the best movie.
Yeah,
it's not the best movie.
It's not bad enough to give you a thing where you're like you can rant on it and just talk about how bad it is. It's one of those where like it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's
like the characters, everything. You're going to get attached to characters. You're going to like some storylines. Like you'll remember what people are doing. You might not remember their names, but you understand. Like okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that about the characters. There's some shitty ass characters. Well, I wouldn't say that they're shitty characters. They're just not
that memorable.
Not memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you got Wolverine and. That's it.
That's it. Which Silver Samurai is like one of Wolverine's top arcs, like one of his arch nemesis.
And it actually is like an actual love story. So the actual story of the Silver Samurai was Wolverine was obviously banging his daughter, and the Silver Samurai was like, I ain't having that shit. You gotta go. And that's the end of the book, end of the comic book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It's a love story.
It's a love story.
Oh, moving on to the final one, Logan, which is obviously the best one. And it's probably because it has an R-rated film.
Yeah. It's like one of the first R-rated superhero movies. Well, of the newer era, because Blade is R-rated, but nobody talks about Blade, which is really sad.
I think we are talking about Blade in our later movies, though. In our later episodes.
Okay.
Anyway, has a very, very hard R rating. You hear Wolverine say, fuck this, fuck that. And he is actually cutting some limbs and chopping some heads off in this movie. So the action is most definitely grade A shit. Just that beginning scene, the opening scene where the guys were still in their hubcaps.
Yeah, he's fighting.
He's like, hey, bro, you need to chill with that. And he's fucking some motherfuckers up. The premise of this movie is more or less Logan is old as dirt. For whatever reason, Charles Xavier is still alive. And he's having some problems killing other mutants and everything.
His mutant powers are getting out of control.
His mutant powers are getting out of control.
He's becoming senile and he's getting sick where he can't control his powers anymore. So his powers are actually killing like mutant. Like it's
obviously they explain in the past movies if he concentrates too hard on the mind thing, it actually kills people, which is pretty much how they explain or secretly explain how all the other X-Men are dead because Charles accidentally more or less accidentally killed all of them.
And Wolverine can suffer through it, so that's why
because of his healing factor, he can suffer through it. You know,
So Wolverine finds out that like in this movie he's just living by. Him and Charles are like off in the desert. They're just hiding away, staying out of people. Wolverine's making money doing Uber pretty much. He's a limo driver. Well, he finds out that he has a daughter at one point in this movie.
It's a clone.
It's a clone, but like
it's a clone.
Like, it's a clone, but
it's
like
a clone. He didn't bang anybody.
Yeah, yeah.
He took some sperm.
they took his DNA to make
X-23.
Yes, and he's thinking like, oh, this is my kid kind of thing. And the lady's kind of making it like, hey, this is your, you know. And then he finally like, no, it's not. And Charles is like, that's not your, but she's much like you. She's very, very similar to you.
Which doesn't make sense. I gotta explain this.
Okay.
So you got this little girl who is a growing child, right? Mm-hmm. With an adamantium skeleton. You would think that her bones would outgrow the adamantium skeleton. Because you got to think, this little girl got to grow up to a grown-ass child, right? I think in the comic book, she's like a teenager or something like that. But in the movie, she's obviously a little younger. She's like 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
Either way, it doesn't matter. Either way, she still has to grow up to be a grown-ass woman that has to outgrow that adamantium skeleton. You see what I mean? So it's like, I don't know who thought of that, or
in the world of superheroes, man,
you know, like, that doesn't make sense. So we're not gonna talk about it. You know what I mean?
Talk about it.
You know, I know that has to hurt,
right?
You know, but anyway, so they cloned the child, got several other, I guess, mutants or whatever that they're fucking around with, you know, and one nurse, not all of them, the other ones got killed or something, right?
Yeah.
One nurse decided to free all the. I was gonna say slaves, but decided to free all. All the mutants.
You know what X-Men are based off of?
Yeah, I was gonna say free all the slaves, free all the other mutants, and then somehow this bitch finds Logan.
Logan, yep.
Who's obviously in hiding this whole entire time.
He would take somebody to a funeral, and then he's a limo driver at the funeral. She's like, "Hey, I need your help," kind of thing. He's like, "The X-Men are gone. I'm not trying about that life." She's like, "No, I need you." And then she bothers him again. And he finally she hires him.
Yeah, she hires him to drive the kids across to Canada.
One kid to drive her out.
Oh yeah, that's right. The other kids got away. Yeah, that's right.
And this causes I want to say this is Essex unit, like Essex lab group. I know it is. In freaking, they actually confirm it in New Mutants that where she came from, where X2 was at, and all the other kids was at. Those were actually part of Nathaniel X's laboratory.
Okay.
Yeah, they're actually because the set this is how lazy New Mutants was. They took the footage, the camera scene where you're looking at the video and you see everything that happened to the kids. They took that same footage and threw it in New Mutants as another video clip scene of what happened and how this doctor, who one of the nurses got out and went to the New Mutants. It was New Mutants like head warden. That's how lazy that movie was. But anyway, back to Logan. This is Nathaniel's Essex laboratory in this universe, and they're trying to get to like New Haven or Safe Haven, which is like
I think it was a Safe Haven.
Safe Haven, but it's a name of it is in the comic book because X2 goes, look, here, this is where it's at. Because the X-Men are legit a thing. They're legit comic book characters in this universe.
Makes sense. I hate it when they do that shit,
and
man.
Logan's like, that's not real. That's all stories that are based upon the actual X-Men group. Hey, I'm down with that. Like, I'm like, okay, I can see like somebody's like, well, I'm going to make a story after you and use their likeness in this comic book called the X-Men. He's like, Charles Xavier. I can just believe Charles Xavier somewhere down the line. I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
But so
their hideout gets exposed from the weapons people. And then you see that the girl's a mutant. She's killing people.
Pretty
Wolverine
cool
was about to leave her ass if she didn't get in the limo, which was hilarious. But anyway, they got Charles, and they run off, and they're more or less on the run.
And then there's another clone, a grown-ass adult Wolverine.
So hold on, they meet the one family.
Okay, yeah.
They meet the one family who has their own fucking problems, and then Wolverine has to save them. But then they get found, and then they find out that Wolverine has another clone of himself made in another lab or something. I don't know if he's made in the same. There's so many different labs, so many things you have to keep up with. Anyway, he has another clone that whoops the dog shit out of Wolverine. in this movie. The fight scenes are really, really graphic. They're really, really good.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. There's some really good fight scenes. You know what's crazy? The family that takes Wolverine in was gonna kill him too. Like they're gonna I think the dude was gonna kill, the dad was gonna kill Wolverine or shoot Wolverine or shoot them as well. He's gonna betray them because he put his family in danger, which makes sense. Like you put my family in danger.
Something like that. Yeah, I remember something.
And then he gets killed.
It's like, bro, you gotta go, man. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the whole family gets killed. Yeah, obviously Charles get killed, and now it's just Wolverine and the girl. Mm-hmm. And so, how did they escape? Oh, I think the girl driving.
They
Wolverine from killing Wolverine.
They shoot they somehow stall the mutant Wolverine. Like somehow do something to him to stall him or he gets called off one or two. I can't remember how.
The girl was driving the truck and Wolverine jumped in the truck or something. They drove off or something like that.
Because Charles Xavier does die in this movie,
but then they had enough time to bury him.
Yeah,
which doesn't make sense. Hold on. Let's go back.
Okay.
Because Charles is in the bed and gets killed
by Clone Wolverine.
But then how did they get him the body and drive off?
I think they picked him up, and Logan came in and picked him up and took him out.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember how they get rid. How they like stall the mutant one or.
Well, I know they had that one ugly looking fucking mutant. I was gonna say he blew up the van.
Yes, that's probably what caused the delay, whatever the case would be. We did forget the Vegas scene where there's in a hotel and and Charles Xavier seizures came back. It was seizures that killed everybody. His seizures came back, and it's one of the coolest scenes where you see Wolverine working his way there. And then this dude is like sitting here like with the gun on Charles, and he see the claw, and he's watching it. Like just imagine watching your death like happen like in slow motion. He's watching the claw slowly, cause it's not quick, it's slowly just. And then like Wolverine's like getting everybody else like he's just.
It was just really, really odd because Charles obviously like promotes this whole we're all even, we're all equal, let's not kill anybody, and then they got this one member that is killing everybody. You know what I mean? Throughout all of the movies, whatever. But whatever, we're gonna speed past that.
But that was a cool scene. I just want to mention that like the slow motion scene where it shows like. Wow, that's really creative to show that scene. If you haven't not seen this movie, go watch that movie. And then the ending part, you finally get X-23.
Yeah, we get to the climax of the movie. They find the kids.
Yep, X-23 can talk. Which Wolverine's like, you can talk this whole time because the whole time she's speaking Spanish. She's like, I didn't trust you. Mm-hmm. Like, what do you mean? I've been carrying you this whole time across the country to get from Vegas to freaking Canada. And you didn't trust me, and then
Which doesn't make sense, because how the fuck are they going to be safe in Canada?
I guess the government is United States based, so they can't go into Canada. I don't know.
Because, I mean, they found Wolverine in the first X-Men in Canada, but...
They believe Canada was a safe spot, so they couldn't, I guess, mess with them in Canada. I don't know, but the government...
I know Canadians are, like, extremely nice, from what I hear, you know?
But the government themselves is acting like we can't let the kids get across the border. Like we gotta stop them. So the government does catches up Wolverine and the kids, and they all have like the X-Men kind of have their own powers thing. Yeah. They finally beat the clone Wolverine via shooting him with I think an adamantium bullet.
Wolverine was planning on killing himself with the adamantium bullet. I think it was just one bullet, right?
Yeah.
And so you put it in the gun, and then was it him or was it the girl?
He shot it.
He shot it because he was. Yeah, that's right. He was trying to kill the girl or whatever. Another little graphic scene of Wolverine beating the shit out of Wolverine, which is just.
And don't forget, he took the rage medicine too to make him.
Super.
Like.
Well, that was really cool.
Yeah,
that was a really good scene where you get to see his rage factor and killing a bunch of people in R-rated form. By the way, he's not, shit in the X-Man mansion or in that shitty ass first movie where he didn't really kill anybody.
Right. Because he gets captured, or the kids get captured, and you just hear, and just cutting through everybody, and then him and X2 are fighting together. It's a really cool scene. Like this movie is written really, really well. It's done really, really well. The acting in this movie is really, really good. Like I mean, it's literally like
it's most definitely one of the top X-Men movies out there.
Yes,
but then it's actually just a good movie in general.
Yes.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I would like watch it without having to sit through a whole franchise of X-Men movies or getting in the mood to watch an X-Men movie. I've actually watched this movie multiple times without having to, get to that kind of mood. You know what I mean? So it would be an everyday kind of movie.
Actually, when I first watched, I gave it a B plus because like it was just too long. It didn't need to be that long, and we all knew Wolverine's gonna die at the end, which he does. And then I watched it again. I was like, no, this movie's an A. I think it gave it an A at 95%. Like it is a phenomenal. Like from cinematography, from the camera angles, from the CGI in this movie.
Just the story.
The story alone, itself.
Really, really heartbreaking story. I would say heartbreaking, but heartfelt story.
Like Wolverine has this clone of his and he's trying to get to another location because he's playing.
He actually has a plan.
Yes.
Of what the fuck he's doing. He wants to get on a boat so that him and Charles would be away from all the seizures and everything.
Yeah, he wanted to be overseas. So his job was that's why he was in the limousine job to make money to get enough money around to gather a boat.
Thinking about it, why didn't he just steal a boat? Like, bro.
Because he's a good person.
He could have just stolen a boat. Especially if you're just going in the middle of the ocean to wait for him to die and then kill yourself. You're better off just stealing the boat.
Yeah, he could have, but I think the moral, because at this point he's been around and been on the X-Men, so his morality is a lot different than was.
Well, ain't this motherfucker's rich? Ain't Charles? He had this big ass mansion. You ain't got no damn money? There's no excuses for this, Ollie. There's no excuse. You gotta remember, Charles had that big ass mansion, all that money, and he's been living for how long now? Right. He like 80, 90 years old. He ain't rich. He ain't got no damn money. He can afford that big ass jet, but he can't get a boat. X-Men ain't got a boat. Bro, X-Men ain't got a boat.
They was down and out.
We're gonna cut it off there, man. We've been renting all these movies for a while now, but it's good season premiere for the first 3 episodes. Obviously, check out more of Associate Expressions movie reviews. I'm James Humphrey. Obviously, got my boy Ollie. We'll see you guys next time.
Keep being awesome, y'all.